Hi, my name is Jessie, and I am kind of starting a YouTube channel to talk about my process of healing. I'm going through a breakup and a lot of other life situations, and I really want to connect with other people that may be in pain and hurting. I realize that transformation is a lifelong process, and I have always been really open about discussing things such as mental health and my own issues I've experienced along the way. And my goal is to be able to sort of clear a path for people that may be struggling with similar things that I go through, and connect with them and see if we can kind of all connect in a beautiful way and try and help each other out. So what I wanted to sort of talk about in this first video is some things not to say to people that may suffer from mental health issues, like depression or anxiety. Don't call them a Debbie Downer, for one. I understand that in relationships and friendships, when you are dealing with someone who is suffering from an illness, or a lot of people, in terms of the wording of when we discuss mental health, prefer not to use terms like illness because they feel like it is very defining and pejorative. So I'll try and stick with mental health. Just for example, I have always struggled with some self-esteem issues, and I have really struggled with trying to love myself without any type of outside validation. I have, for whatever reasons, always really cared what other people thought about me. And the thing with relationships is I'll get to a point where I'm feeling really good about myself, and of course that's attractive to other people. And then I kind of lose myself in these relationships, and I try to become who I think this person wants me to be. And if I start to realize a relationship isn't right for me, instead of ending it or moving on or letting go, I tend to just grasp on tighter because I'm afraid of failing, and I'm afraid of being alone. And in this most recent relationship, I was pretty serious with this guy, and we talked about marriage and kids, and to me, he was the one, and coming from a place where I never thought that that would happen for me, I guess, I was really excited. And the first couple months, of course, honeymoon phase, were really great, and then I think we both started to realize it was a compatibility issue. And I'm a very loyal person. I believe that no one's perfect and no relationship is perfect. And so if we can both commit to working on things and trying to change and create something beautiful together, that you can make it work. And so I tried to do that. I was just recently in a graduate program because I did feel very lost in my life and I wasn't sure what to do. So I decided to go back to school for African American Studies, and I was writing my thesis on female hip-hop artists, looking at the intersectionality of sexism and racism and within the fields of hip-hop. And I was in a living situation that I'm still in, technically, with just a really, really intense, bad living situation. There was some safety issues, there was stealing. Psychologically, it was an environment that was just horrible for me. And so I'm in the midst of this living situation. I'm in the midst of trying to do these finals, and, my boyfriend telling me basically that if I don't get happy, we're going to be over. And instead of that being this motivation for me to just say, oh, okay, I'm okay, I was honest with him, and I said, I'm not happy right now, going through a lot. And anyways, we ended up, breaking up actually about a month and a half ago. I had to call the police at my apartment one day, and I felt very frantic and had a huge anxiety attack, and because someone entered my apartment. And it's a long story, but my boyfriend broke up with me the next day, and so I lost my apartment because I can never go back there. I feel totally unsafe, and my boyfriend left me, and I was in the process of deciding to leave school as well, and a lot has been happening, and I'm trying really hard to react in a way that is healthy and allows me to process my pain without over identifying with what's going on with me as me being a bad person, or, there was just a lot said at the end of the relationship that, and what sticks out in my head is, he called me a Debbie Downer, and, he said he didn't want to be with someone who was depressed all the time and who wasn't happy and who was looking for someone else to make them happy, and he didn't want to be with someone who wasn't grateful for what they had, and there was some truth in there, and there were some falsities. I feel like, I think in a way I really wanted to prove him wrong, and so I've really tried to work on myself, even though my whole life has been this ongoing process of trying to work on myself. But I think what people need to understand is things like depression and anxiety are ongoing daily struggles. And so it's okay to reach a point where maybe you don't know how to deal with it anymore. But just know that if you're entering into a relationship, especially with someone that's been honest about their struggles, there are certain ways to talk to people about them. And blaming them for their depression and their anxiety, almost as if it's a choice, which I think I'm going to be talking about in a later video about these choices, because I am learning a lot about happiness and how it is a choice. But right now I'm just trying to talk about what not to say. So maybe you can approach someone acknowledging and validating their suffering. He had gone through a lot in his personal life, and so he didn't understand the concept. I think that problems are relative, and that just because maybe my problems weren't as great as his, that he had experienced in the past, or that he had been able to get through them in what he deemed a healthier way, he very much belittled my experience and thought I could just snap out of it when I was doing the best I could. And, he said he didn't want to be in a relationship with the person that I was at that point. Even though 2 days later, when I went to go get my stuff from his house, I had changed and I was happy and I was the person he wanted again. And I tried to explain, no, I got through it. I got through this situation that was really tough on me. And instead of giving me the love that I needed, and the encouragement, wow, you got through some really hard stuff, there was a lot of just emotional detachment. And it hurt, and it still hurts. And I'm going through a lot right now. And I just want to say that, first of all, to anyone that is struggling with being in a relationship with someone that has mental health problems on either side, I'm not going to say there's a right and a wrong way to deal with it, but there are certainly more proactive, healthier ways to deal with it. So, for example, if you are with someone that struggles, I would encourage you, if you really love and care about the person, to try and find some healthy ways to do that. I can post some great resources about how to deal with someone that may be going through that. It's perfectly okay, of course, in your choice to decide, I don't want to be with someone that for whatever reason, that's okay. But if you are choosing to be in a relationship with someone, and you recognize they're going through like a particularly hard period, um, you should want to encourage them and support them. And, you know, there are just certain things that I would recommend not saying, not blaming the person and not diminishing what they're going through, trying to validate their experience, not comparing what you've been through and how you handle things with how they handle things. Yeah, don't ever say someone's a Debbie Downer because they suffer from depression. And, if I had a broken leg, you wouldn't say like, oh, well, you just don't want to walk. So, you know, I don't know. I'm really open with trying to explore these issues and talk about these and see other people's experiences. Um, I guess a little bit I need to talk about this. I've noticed that I really internalized a lot of what was said and have really blamed myself um, for how I'm feeling, and for ruining this relationship because of my struggles. And there's always things to learn, um, but I know that where I'm at right now and feeling like unlovable um, is not okay because I've been trying to do this 30 days of healing. So I've been trying to practice self-compassion and also practice the 4 agreements. So I'm trying to be self-compassionate, and the 3 tenets of self-compassion are mindfulness, common humanity, and I'm about to blank on the other one. I'll link to Kristen Neff, who has done most of the work on self-compassion. But basically, it's about recognizing that everyone goes through suffering, and to be mindful about that without over-identifying with your suffering, and try to be kind to yourself and say, this is a moment of suffering, and recognize that that is indeed a part of humanity. Everyone suffers, and try and experience that through a kind and compassionate lens. So while I'm feeling really rejected, and I tried to jump right back into the dating game, and I just realized like I am a mess a little bit. Maybe that's not compassionate, but I am not healed totally from my past relationship. And so there's these thoughts like, what if he finds someone and he's forgotten about me? And I need to take a compassionate stance and recognize that, okay, that's out of my control. So I need to be mindful and recognize that I have to create myself as a whole person again, before I can try and have someone else fill that void. And it always hurts to be rejected. No one enjoys it. But I think I would recommend, if you've just gotten out of a relationship, to really take the time you need to heal. And if it's 1 year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, that's okay. Not compare yourself to other people that are in relationships that seem happy. Just know that even when people are in a relationship, that doesn't always mean that they're happy, and you can be totally happy single. And I know that I am deserving of a happy life, and I'm deserving of finding a partner that loves and cherishes me. And it's okay to make mistakes. I'm beating myself up because I texted my ex earlier because I can't find a social security card, and I needed this for a new job I'm starting on Monday. And I just feel like, oh, he's going to think I'm this and that and pathetic and a loser. And I am really coming at it from a negative place. And in reality, I'm kind of brave for doing that because I didn't want to text him. I don't want to, seem desperate and, like I'm just can't stop thinking about him. But I need the damn card, and there is a chance that it could be there. So, I need to tell myself it's okay. It's okay to put yourself first and say, look, I need this, and maybe it's uncomfortable. Relationships are messy, breakups are messy, and it's okay. And, I tried to get back on, do some online dating, and I'm taking it really personally. And part of the 4 agreements is don't take things personally, don't make assumptions. And I'm just making assumptions, taking things personally. And, I went on a date on Monday, and I thought we really hit it off. And then the guy just kind of stopped talking to me. And I'm like, you're in a place right now where you are probably not approaching dating from like a confident reality. So even though I very much want to just like move on and get married and have kids and be happy, um, I know there's some healing to be done here. And I have to be compassionate and recognize that that's okay. And so for anyone that is suffering from a breakup and or mental health issues, dealing with people that maybe don't understand or know how to deal with someone that has mental health issues, I would just say um, that you are deserving of love and compassion and respect. And a lot of times people do not know how to approach a loved one that is hurting. And that's okay too. But I think that if we talk about it more, we can work together and try and figure things out. So I'm going to post some links at the end of this video. I've never really done a YouTube channel before, so I'm just experimenting. I have no idea if anyone's going to watch this. And, um, you know, I would say try not to take things personally. I'm kind of speaking to myself here, but in terms of dating and love and relationships, I am a firm believer that first we have to love ourselves before anyone else can love us, and we have to love ourselves unconditionally. I believe we should walk away when something's not right and have the trust and strength to do that, even if you do love someone. I think that goes both ways, whether or not you're struggling with mental health. And I think that that's it for now. Try not to take things personally, though, or make assumptions, because a lot of times people are coming from their own experience and reality, and it doesn't have to do with your heart or your soul. And regardless of what external type of validation you feel like you need, it will never give you anything until you can choose to validate yourself internally. And that's my journey and my process that I'm going on. And if anyone wants to join me, I'm doing a Tumblr called 30 Days of Healing, where I'll link to as well. And I would love to connect with people that maybe have similar experiences or can give me some great tips on how to move towards a positive lifestyle. I'm really starting to believe in just positivity, approaching everything from a positive and optimistic mindset. I don't want to be a negative person, and I believe that we have a lot more control than we think we do. So it's a process, and I'm in the middle of this process, and I hope you'll join me, and I hope we can learn with each other. So that's all for today. My name's Jessie, and you can contact me or try and connect with me if you feel this. And I am wishing love and light to everyone. So have a good day.